So people know about Mega Man 1, 2, and 3, but Mega Man 4, this one has to be my favorite. It tells the story of the robot Mega Man, but this time he has blue hair, and he's out to get the evil genius scientist doctor, who's not Wily. Anyway, this game has everything. It introduces a new feature, the charge shot, which becomes a staple of the series for many games to come. And let me tell you, it's a bit unfair how powerful it actually is. Additionally, they've brought back this sweet dance move for Mega Man 3, which has a lot of non-style based uses. It can be used to evade, cross gaps, deal absurd amounts of damage to enemies, ignore physics, and even embrace the great beyond. I should probably also mention how precise the jumping is, and in fact, they removed one of the features that bothered me the most from the previous titles, where sometimes mid-jump you would stagger from a hit and fall to your death. For some reason, there are only 7 Robot Masters in this game, but what's nice is the 8th spot is filled by a frog, who serves as a sort of tutorial battle and gives you a power-up right off the bat. Now it's time to take on Brightman, who doesn't like it when you make it rain, although he can stop time with his light because of science. Pharaoh Man is up next, and even with his weakness to time, he's a bit trickier than the rest. Fortunately, Ring Man is not nearly as bad now that you can throw sand. And it's pretty common sense to use those rings to go take out Dust Man. Skull Man is clearly susceptible to the power of literal garbage. And the Shield of Skulls renders you nearly Okay. Well, the Shield of Skulls can block a missile. Okay, here we go. At this point, your reputation precedes you, and when you meet Drill Man, he wisely just leaves. Alright, so we can finally approach Dr. Not Wily's castle. Unfortunately, at this point, you're probably down to only about 5 E-Tanks. But that's okay, because there's really nothing difficult about this stage, like a change in traction or anything. And you don't need 2 guesses to figure out that when you see a giant moth, you should be throwing rings at it. Stage 2 has you trash a computer with trash, and Stage 3 features a cameo appearance by either Goma from The Legend of Zelda or Omega from Final Fantasy, I can't remember. In any case, after you take turns playing the crane game with the Doctor, a crazy, unpredictable plot twist occurs, and Dr. Wily's back in the mix. Wily's castle works really hard at reinforcing the idea that they probably should have stopped you from getting Ringman's power. But even so, the second boss's maneuverability and agility will likely prove challenging. To make things even more difficult, Wily then makes you fight 7 original Robot Masters you have no idea how to beat. And another frog. At long last, we get to fight Wily in an epic 2-stage battle that surprisingly isn't the final boss. The final fight against Wily takes place in a different stage, and in a really smart move on the developer's part, he's completely immune to your Buster Shot. His weaknesses are sand and completely out of left field rings, but don't worry if you're out. The hallway beforehand conveniently spawns caterpillars infinitely. Once you do manage to defeat Wily, the game ends in a very satisfying and conclusive way, as the hideout self-destructs and Wily escapes. Mega Man finishes the game as he started it, on a train, and even brings back everyone's favorite moment for Mega Man 1, the jump finish freeze frame. Mega Man 4 really is the towering achievement of the Mega Man series. My final score for the game would easily be 8 Robot Masters out of 7.